Yo, 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 and ho, ho, ho. What's up, everybody? Went ahead and got on here a little bit early. I seen some of you in the chat waiting already. What are you guys up to? What's going on? I've been busy all day, so I am sorry for the Hi-Fi Vega after hours stream tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. You guys watching a football game? What you doing? He says, and he says, okay, I'll be cleaning up his room and setting up for the Kicker Unmasked live show, but he will be listening. Yeah, man. We are here and ready to roll. So I assume we won't get as many people here today, being Saturday. I figure you guys are busy people. You got football watch, you got shopping to do, you got all kinds of stuff going on. Let me see. Let's see who's in the chat here. Jason, what's up? FDSS, what's going on? Dave Letterman, oh, got a celebrity. El Fuego, Paul Good. Who else we got here? Oh, Living Loud, we already shouted him out. Brian, Matt Stark, Toys Audio, what's up? Andrew, White Sound Lab, where you been, man? Good to see you. It's past this old man's bedtime. I know. Defiant, what's going on? You know, it's almost 10 o'clock for you guys on the East Coast. The voice of reason. What's going on, man? So tonight we've got the people in here. I'm going to talk about some of my favorite purchases of 2020. Now, these aren't just products that came out in 2020, but it's something that I got in 2020, new to me, and it's just kind of my favorite things of the year. Uh, kind of like Oprah does. So I maybe one day I'll be the Oprah of car audio. Who knows? All right, let's see. So let's just, I'm gonna go in order here with kind of, my least favorite to my most favorite, even though everyone I show is one of my favorite picks, and everything I show will be linked in the description below in case you guys want to pick it up or check it out. But we're gonna start with a purchase that's relatively cheap, but it makes a big difference. Yo, Third Air, what's going on? All right. Do you guys see this? This is a set of T-handles inside a nice little holder here. If you're doing any kind of bench testing, I mean, even working on your car, these T-handles come in handy because these have more than just one trick up their sleeves. Let me see if I can get it to focus on this T-handle here. So we have a ball head end on one end, which is very useful. If you can't get a perfectly straight angle, you can kind of hit it to the side here and get a nice angle on it. But if you need a little more torque, you've got this piece right here that lets you really torque something down, or if something's very tight, you can use this. Do you guys use these or not? Or am I the only one that appreciates T handles like this? I know you guys gotta like them. The ball ends are nice for sure. Yeah, and then Jason says those are so much better than using the little ones. I totally agree. It's well worth the purchase. Um, you're not going to use very many of the SAE ones unless you mess with old school amps, and then you are going to be messing with them. Let's see, you jumped in. Rob Land, what's going on, dude? Try not to mess y'all's comments here. David Carter, what up? Nick Cooper. Oh man, yeah, Nick. Let me know how that thing works. I mean, that's super cheap. I'm curious. I'm curious what it does. Yeah, Rob says he had the same ones, but if you put very much torque on them, they will break and slip around for sure. You definitely got to be careful with this set. I didn't link to this set. I linked to another set that's a little bit better, a little bit more expensive. But the good thing about these is if you break one of these, Harbor Freight will take this back. I have taken some of these back before, so there's always that. because this is one of the lifetime warranty items, or limited lifetime, they say. All right, so I don't know. I don't know what my next pick will be. Stephen Doolittle, Kobe, what's up, Greg? He says they got the T handles 10 years ago and still haven't used them. And Rob says, yeah, they can be replaced easily, but it is a hassle if you break something and now you got to go to the store and drop it off. There is something to be said for getting something of quality in the first place, so you don't have to do that. But if it's an item that you're not like testing, I'm not putting a lot of torque on these. So if you use these kind of professionally or in some kind of automotive sense, you definitely want a little bit better than that. Edad, what's up? All right, let's go with my next pick. This is tough. Let's go. This one riled some feathers here. This is the Kenwood KDC X304. This is the cheapest Exelon heading you can buy. When you can find it in stock, which is not in stock anywhere right now, it's 120 shipped. I picked this up straight from Crutchfield, 120 shipped. They have it on Amazon for 120 shipped. Sonic Electronics, just about everywhere. It's the same price everywhere. Now, this head unit is not going to get you where an 80 PRS would get you as far as the internal digital to analog converter or the crossovers. You're not going to be able to do a bandpass setup on these. But if you're using these kind of head units like I do, and everything is amplified, and you're probably using a DSP or you need something simple, this will really, really do well for you. It does not give you I could not get the full 5 volts without clipping it, but I could get a little over 4 volts at a volume with a clean signal. So very nice. I really can't say enough for $120. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat this for $120. I'm sure there's other ones out there that are just as good, but I like Kenwood. They're kind of an underdog. You don't hear about them all the time, and they make quality stuff, in my opinion. Oh man, hello from Iceland. Awesome. That's way off. Let me see. Oh, a machinist. What's up, Michael? Very cool. That's a cool job. So, what I did, I didn't even Colby, I'll check my email at some point. I'm a little behind, buddy. 12 days of streaming is killing me. But now this unit, when I done this video, this unit seemed to get pretty popular, and it started selling out everywhere within a week of that video coming out. So when that happens, people are going to put them up on Amazon for double or triple the price. And I think this unit was selling on Amazon when I looked tonight for like $302, or I think I seen one for $266. Do not buy it at that price. Only buy this unit at $120. And the link that I left below in the description is actually for the Exelon X704. It has a lot more features than this, and it's only $199. It's like 3 steps up from here, and you guys would do better off do that if you can't find this for $120. So everything I've said good about this is at the $120 price point. If you go up to $200 or better, I think you can do better than this unit itself right here. Gotta scroll through the comments, see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Yeah, Ray Rayfield, he uses a pretty nice Kenwood. I think it's X998. It's a very, very nice unit. Yeah. Voice reason, my suggestion to you, if you want to do something in your car, would be stick with the factory head unit. use a DSP with line level or use a line output converter, and then that'll give you some way to get amperage or to get RCAs to your amps. That's definitely the way to go. If it's very involved, you can buy adapters. They're pretty expensive to get an aftermarket head unit, but most of the time you're doing pretty good with the stock unit. All right, let's see right here. Third Era says I'm still going back and forth on a simple single DIN choice to go with my iPad. Yeah, rotary volume knob is nice and decent pre-alt. Yeah, you definitely want that. DIY audio guys in the house, what's going on? Colby, I am not sure if those are the same. I think they may be owned by the same company now. Paul Good, what's happening? That Sony, I don't think that's the model I tested. uh, But I did test one of those high power output units, and they are nice. They're very, very nice, and they have a lot of the same features that the Kenwood has. All right, so now let's go in. I don't know what my next pick is going to be. I don't want to keep y'all too long because it's a little late, but let's go with. All right, we're going to jump into tool land here. Yo, Thomas Marshall, what's up, bro? This tool, the Milwaukee Ratchet here, this thing is freaking awesome. If you haven't bought a battery powered ratchet, I really, really recommend this one in particular. It doesn't have the long neck like the newer ones, but it's pretty compact. It's very powerful. Well worth the money. I think this was about $90 as a tool only. And if you want to pick one up, I've got a link to this in the description. If you're already in the Milwaukee platform, definitely give this one a shot. If you're not in the Milwaukee platform, you should probably look at the Earthquake one that they sell at Harbor Freight. That's a pretty decent unit for 120 all in with batteries. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit skinnier, and it can get you in some tight spots that maybe this one can't. But this one is a beast. I mean, this thing is absolutely covered in oil now. All my tools, I'm very, very hard on my tools, and this thing holds up and keeps giving back. I don't know how many of y'all have checked out the battery powered ratchet. Dave, appreciate the $5 holla, man. Appreciate it. Craig says, hello from Rhode Island. Hey, man. Small town. Justin, what's up? Andrew, good to know about the voltage output. Yeah, for sure. Let's see what else Vega's best purchase of 2020 is. The Orion XTR 2250 Beast. Yeah, man, that's sweet. Maybe wants one for Christmas. Yeah, man. Definitely check this out. The 3/8 impact in gun is great. I do not have that yet, but I definitely want to check that out. I'll tell you another purchase that I don't have here, and I didn't put a link in the description, but I bought the 1/2-inch fuel impact, and it's a freaking monster, dude. Like, suspension work is crazy with that thing. You're just busting bolts off left and right. Third Era, they have a JVC double DIN CarPlay right around 300. Wow, that's not bad. Yes, the Kenwood Ghost. Those were beasts, man. I love those. Let me see who else we got in here. Love all my Milwaukee tools. I know it's hard. Actually, I have some Bosch tools. I haven't used Makita in a very long time, but they make nice tools. Um, there's Ryobi guys, there's Rigid guys, and it's so like once you get into the battery platform, you're kind of a fanboy from that point because it's so easy to just expand. You get the bare tools pretty cheap because you got the batteries, you got the charger, and you can just keep moving on from there. Thomas Marshall, I got to set those. Pittsburgh Pro. Let's see. Yeah, Steven, the fuel line is better, but for my use, that ratchet is perfectly fine. I mean, I like having brushless tools, and that's nice. But to me, I just need the powered reliability. It's plenty fine for me. Michael Groves asked, "Are they better than air powered ratchet?" I think so. I had a Husky air powered ratchet that I used for a while, but the hose they now the I would say the pneumatic, okay, the pneumatic air ratchets can get you in tighter spots. If you don't account for the hose, or you can get the hose in a way that you need to use it because you don't have a big battery on there and the handle's not as big. But as far as power, I had the highest end Husky air ratchet. I can't remember the model, but this is definitely on par with that, maybe even a little bit better. Let's see who else we got. Oh, Craft Chest, what's going on, man? Yeah, man, 12 shots of Christmas just for me. Thanks. Appreciate it. Let's see what we got. The quarter-inch impact drivers are incredible. I've got no, I don't. I don't got it, but I want the want the quarter-inch. Yeah, it sucks when they change the batteries every 3 or 4 years and you gotta switch again. Ryobi doesn't do that, so if that's a problem for you, you should check out Ryobi because they've had the same battery for, like, over a decade, I'm certain of it. It's all DeWalt and Klein over here, but the company pays for them. Hey, you guys know I'm a Klein guy. I love Klein tools. They actually make some of them here in Fort Smith, and DeWalt. I mean, DeWalt's solid, always solid. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, this is tough. I don't want to pick for my next. Okay, I got my next one, and this one is all right. You guys get ready. What? Let me just my next pick. It is car audio, and it's an amp. What amp do you guys think it is? My pick of 2020. What's my favorite amp? Do you think in 2020? I'll give you guys a couple 30 seconds to a minute to get your guesses out there. As I do that, as you get your guesses out there, we'll see. Oh God, you guys, why do you guys? I guess I don't hide it very good, but it is the Kicker 200.4 key. Dave, you're close. The Vivaldi was nice, man. I really like the Vivaldi, but this amp right here, it's not that this is the best amp in the world. It's not a super powerful amp, but what this amp does at $250 full retail, but I got a link in the description below. You can get it for $224 right now from a authorized dealer. Um, this thing right here puts out 50 watts by 4, and I will tell you that 50 watts by 4, I started with the gain on 0 when I set this up, and the gain is still at 0, because this thing is pretty powerful. I replaced the Rockford Fosgate T404 with this amp, and I cannot really tell a huge uh, loss in power with this amp. So that should say something to you that this amp really, even though it probably puts out, and I think Quality Mobile Video done a video on it, and it put out like 55 watts certified. So, but that's not the main thing about this amp. The key technology, the little Steve Irby that comes in there and tunes your system, sets the crossover points, EQs it, time aligns it, and all you do is hook it up like any other amp, give it signal, and you put the microphone in your seating position and you let it do its thing. And you get in there and it sounds incredible. It's just it's hard to say. And you see this right here. Let me get the focus on it. It says kick signature kicker sound. And I will say that this is most definitely a kicker sound. It's a little bass heavy, which really fits in. I dig that. It's flat throughout the vocal range, and then on the tweet, it kind of rolls off just a little bit. And I think if you guys got to hear this in person, you would dig the sound of it. It's your built-in crossover, but I haven't decided to change it at all, and it's a pretty good sound, especially for my wife. She really digs this amp, so I can't say enough about it. If you're on the fence about this, don't be. This is a easy purchase for anybody at full price, and you know you get $25 off now, so that's pretty sweet. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the comment. Fosgate for life. I like Fosgate too, man. He said replace the Rockford. Blasphemy. He says Ashley Larry Facebook account. He says he's hoping he put a little red amp in my son's build. I don't have any more 225 HCCAs, but that would be a good amp. That'd be a good amp for him. And you guys know, I mean, you guys know I like Rockford too. I really like Rockford a lot. Matter of fact, I ordered some Rockford Fosgate components for the Trooper. So it's just they're not right now. Nobody, nobody is doing what the Key does. Nobody with that tuning. Once they come out with something like this, maybe we'll compare it. The 80 PRS does something like this, but it doesn't do it as good. And anybody that's used the 80 PRS tuning, um, yeah, if you say it's better than this and you've tried this, I don't believe you because it's definitely not. Matter of fact, I put a video up about the auto EQ on the 80 PRS, and it's okay, but it definitely needs some tweaking. All right, let's see what we got. Newport, Rhode Island, man. Did everybody show up from Rhode Island? You guys got like maybe 200 people in the whole state? Heck no, man. I ain't giving away a key 204. Jeez, man, I love that thing. My wife would kill me. Matter of fact, she told me she might have blown up a mid. Let's see. Yo, 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 Uncle Bobby B in the house. What's going on, dude? Georgetown, Kentucky. Yeah, man, 225 DR. That's the best ever made. Oh, Downfire Kicker 12. I prefer the newer DSP in the next series. Anthony's car out of your life. What's up, dude? All right, so let's see. Okay. Oh, I don't. All right, we're gonna go. This is what I'm picking for my next one of my favorite tools that I've bought this year, and it's red. If you guys haven't guessed yet, I'm kind of in the bag for Milwaukee right now. I'm so sorry for the DeWalt guys, but hey, if I was the DeWalt guy, then the Milwaukee guys would be mad. You know, this right here. Let's see if I get it to focus. This is the M12 soldering iron. This thing heats up in 15 seconds, maybe. It takes a while to cool off, but not only does it heat up in 15 seconds, you can just leave it on and it will literally run until the battery goes dead and it regulates itself. It will not overheat. So, yeah, man, this thing is freaking awesome. This is the best soldering purchase I've ever made in my life. I've got it. I had a pretty decent desoldering station that I use, and it was okay, but the cord on it, everything was cumbersome. Every time you move the cord, it would it would kind of like shift the whole base around because the base wasn't heavy enough. It's kind of a pain. And this um can be purchased for about $90, I believe, is what this costs. And it's just it is a solid piece. I mean, you cannot complain about this thing. It's it's just solid. It's got the adjust, you know, you can adjust it any way you need it. And I will say that the tips, I like the tips that come with it. They're pretty decent. And I haven't had any trouble with them at all. It comes with two different tips. The batteries last longer than you'd expect them to last. On this one, I have I believe it's I can't get it to focus. Anyways, it's a 4 amp hour. I could use this several days. It's if you buy this, you're not going to be disappointed. I'll tell you. And I do definitely have a link in the description below. I believe it's around $90 to purchase this as a bare tool. You can get the kit for around 120. So if you want to get one of these, definitely pick it up. You will not be disappointed. Now, I know that Dean had said that he has burned up a couple of these, but you guys know what Dean does. He's a pro, you know, so he's in here using this thing more than any of us enthusiasts would probably use it. He says I'm definitely going to grab one. You know, Andrew, do they make a DeWalt soldering iron? That I do not know. DeWalt does have quite a few tools, but I think that sometimes Milwaukee ends up having a little bit better selection on this kind of weird stuff like this. Anthony's Cardi Life said the snap on with the magnetic holder. Oh man, I'm sure that, hey, the snap on. I've never had a snap on power tool, but I bet they're nice. I mean, they got to be nice, right? So that is my next pick. I have my other pick. I can't show you because my other pick is what you're seeing me on. It is the Canon M200. I typically so this is a M50 right here. This is what I use for most of my YouTube videos. It is essentially the same thing as the Canon you're seeing me on here. But this is a little bit bigger body. The screen on this one flips out to the side. So I would recommend the M200 or the M50, but it depends on what you want to do. So for videos, I prefer the M50 simply because it has a microphone jack and I can either put a lapel, I can put I've got a deity shotgun mic that I use sometimes. I can even use a wireless mic with this. So as far as shooting videos, I prefer the M50. The face tracking, there's some differences in this versus the M200. So I'm going to talk about the M200. The added benefits of the M200 for me in streaming is not only does it have the dual pixel autofocus, but it also has an eye focus. So this one can really track my face very easily. And if you're streaming, this is the very key part. This will do dual pixel autofocus while you're streaming. The M50 will not. I have to do a fixed focal, or not a fixed focal length, a fixed focus. Excuse me. I have to manual focus it on that. So the downside of the M200 versus the M50 is instead of that fold out screen, the M200 it has a flip up screen, which is fine. It's just above. Here's the lens. It's not going to focus on my hand, but just above it is the screen. It does not have a microphone output, so that's the downside. But I don't need a microphone output because I'm using this on my computer with a USB, not a USB mic, but an XLR mic with a USB interface. So I just got this camera this year. If you're considering getting a streaming camera, M200 all the way, cannot recommend it enough. I left a link in the description if you want to buy that with the kit lens. I would recommend buying it without the kit lens because my number one pick for this year is the lens you're seeing me on right now, Let me get it to focus here. It is the Sigma 30mm f1.4. This is a fixed focus lens, and the focal length on it is 30mm. It is what it is. You cannot adjust that. The what am I thinking? Uh, so it's a fast piece of glass. You can get that shallow depth of field that you see behind me here, and you do that because it's a f1.4. I have it set on like f1.8 or f2, and for you camera nerds, you know what I'm talking about. Sigma is like kind of top of the game. I kind of wish that I had went with the 16mm f1.4, and that would give me a little wider shot. But I have noticed on these streams that I really don't need the wider shot nearly as much as I thought I would. So I don't want to spend. This lens is like $309, somewhere in that range. The 16mm is like $450. And if I were getting rid of that, I would have to. I mean, I would buy that. I would not get rid of this lens because I would use it, and it'd just be another cost, and it's very close. So that are my picks. That's the picks for, that's all of them. This is my number one pick, the lens. The Sigma 30mm f1.4. Yeah, John. He says the lean or the lens that Dean got was way crazy. Yeah. That's a super crazy. He asked how much is the M200? With the kit lens, it's $500, which sounds like a lot of money, but to get in the mirrorless, it's not bad. And I will say this: I've tried. If you want other camera suggestions, you can check out the Lumix G7. That's what Derek uses. I didn't like the interface on that as much. I didn't like the color science on that as much. But it's still a nice camera. It's a very nice camera. The sensor size is a little bit smaller, micro four thirds versus an APS-C sensor. So there's slight differences. I have not used the new Sonys. I've used the Sony 5100, but the new Sonys like the 6100, they look super cool. I just haven't used them yet, so I can't speak on those. So Steven Doolittle says, am I a big solder person? Well, I solder when it's necessary. I've got no problem using butt connectors, and you guys know that. You've seen that in my video. If you terminate a butt connector properly, you're not going to have issues with it. Now, I use a pair of ratcheting Klein crimpers, and those do a really nice job. You need to be using the proper size butt connector with the proper tools, and you'll get a nice result. And it's not going to be appreciably different than a soldered connection, in my opinion, especially if you're doing a wire-on-wire connection. But soldering is good when you can do it. If you can get in there and solder, it's it's a solid connection as long as you're soldering properly. Now, a lot of people I see preaching solder should be using butt connectors because they're not soldering as well as they should be. I mean, you really need to get that solder wicking through the speaker wire or the wire that you're using. So, if you're not good at soldering, use good butt connectors, the proper size, proper termination on them. El Fuego says, keep up the stamina through the rest of the 12 days. P.S. I learned to solder about, oh man, that's a bad day. All right, let's see who we got. Okay. So he's talking about the Sony RX10 Mark IV. I'll tell you what, though, the only thing I don't like about those, because those are crazy cool cameras, but they have the 1-inch sensor, which is a lot smaller than what an APS-C is. So in low light conditions, you're going to be getting like kind of iPhone, like the good level of an iPhone video. You'll be in that range in low light. Just got a pair of Singer ferrule crimpers. They're pretty hefty. Cool. So you guys, if you got any questions before I sign out, Shoot them, I'll answer them, and then we'll wrap this dude up. I'll let you guys have your night because tomorrow, as go ahead and start putting your questions in there, and I'll try to answer any of them that I can. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna have the guys from Karma Audio on here, Phil and Adam. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna talk about how Karma came about. We're gonna talk about their products, what they're doing now, their vision. We'll just talk about everything. These are old school guys. I met both these guys at the first old school stereo meet in 2014 in Nashville, Tennessee at the Unified World Finals. So these guys are straight up SQ guys. They've done some cool builds. Phil is he's a very good installer. Some of his work is just super, super clean. And I think you guys are gonna dig tomorrow night's episode, and it's gonna be at 7 o'clock. It's gonna be fun. So you don't want to miss that. I don't know what you guys got going on tomorrow, but you're definitely going to check out that. I think it should be a very, very fun stream. Let's see what they got here. Bullet connectors for the win. Rob Lance says the kicker cast pods, when do they come out? I believe that's a spring 2021 product. But I can ask Kit for you because I'm going to be on Kicker's stream Friday or Tuesday. El Fuego asks what time tomorrow? 7 p.m. Let's see what else we got going on here. Andrew asks, what's the best sounding ground pounding sub I have used? Of all time, I would have to say it's probably the Rockford Fosgate Punch DVC from the late 90s. Currently, like something that you would buy now. Okay, so if you're gonna buy one now, this is a little bit more on the expensive side, but I'm gonna say the Sundown SA12 is probably it. That sub is probably the best all around sub you can get in that price range. If you want something a little cheaper, um, check out this. As far as sound quality goes, check out this Savard Rap 12 V2. It is a performer. It just it sounds really good. And then the other one, it's the K9. The K9 12, depending on what power level you're using, that sub sounds really good. It gets loud on a small amount of power, so it depends on what you want to do. And I haven't used any, I need to holler at Kip because I haven't used any new kicker subs in a long time. The last kicker sub that I've used that would be somewhat current is the L58, and I was using that in the Trooper for my daughter, and it performed very well too. But I need to get a hold of some new kicker stubs so I can have a opinion on their newest stuff. Steven says, I don't know if it's correct, but I always use flux and heat shrink when I solder. I do the same thing. I make sure to get the flux in there so that I can, actually saturate the wires. And the heat shrink, always got to have that. Jordan asks, are Class FD amps any better than regular Class D? The last Class FD amp I used was the Pioneer, and it's a good sounding amp, but I think it's on par with the other good sounding Class D amps. So I think that's a little bit more hype. Unless they're just calling it like a full range Class D, I think they're about the same. I have balanced inputs on my sub amps. Are they worth the money or no? It depends. Like how much money are we talking? Less than $100 maybe. More than that, maybe not. New kicker stuff should be out in the second quarter for sure. Let's see what else we have here. Sorry, I got behind here. Sorry. Marco says, should I get a DSP even though I have the Kenwood XL on with DSP functions? what are you trying to do? Like, how far are you trying to go with it, Marco? If you need the thing with the built-in head unit DSPs is they are limited. So I'm not exactly sure on that Kenwood unit how limited you are, but if you're wanting to run a wideband instead of a tweeter or a three-way setup, that's probably going to limit you, and you might want to go with a full DSP at that point. Do you have left and right EQ controls? That's a big feature that's missing in some of the head units, missing in that Kenwood, as a matter of fact. That is a feature they had in the 80 PRS. So just depends on what features yours has now versus what features the unit you're looking at has. This was great to watch live while cooking sausage, eggs, and pancakes. Hey man, breakfast for dinner is super underrated. I love breakfast for dinner. My family pretty much hates it, but I feel you on breakfast for dinner. Tiffany Smith says, "Excuse guys like smell their own farts." Oh man, throwing darts. I'm off tomorrow. I was gonna do a big 3 upgrade on the Defiant. Very cool, man. Post that video up, bro. I'll watch it. Paul Good says order set a Def Bounce, however how you say it, machete 6.5 coaxials for the newest build. Any suggestions for a budget SQ mid? Um, I don't know, man. It depends on I've got these Kappa 6011s. That's a component set. That's not a coaxial. It depends on what you're going for. I haven't played with a lot of the new stuff, but I would say I do dig the Rockford Fosgate components, and especially if you want to kind of get loud and you want it to sound good and also be loud. I think like Rockford Fosgate has you covered on that. Um, that's where I would look. Anthony asked, "What do you think about a deer audio?" Haven't heard of it, man. So I don't have a good opinion on it. Do you like Scar? Yeah, I don't got no problem with Scar. I tested the ZVX 8-inch a while back. That sub's a freaking beast. I thought the sound quality was hit or miss on that, but as far as just completely just getting down, that sub is a beast. As far as amps, I haven't used amps. They always seem to do more than they're rated. That's a good sign. Um, I don't know how they are reliability wise, so I can't speak to that. So people that use them would have to tell me more about that. But yeah, I don't get no problem with Scar. They're a budget line, and I think they do well. Uh, People seem to like them, and it's for a reason. Steve Doolittle says kicker L7 DVC for the win. Yeah, for sure. Get some gaming. Got two of the DVC 12s mint. Awesome, man. Those are dope. 25 to life, P1, P2, or P3 15s. Obviously, if you can afford the P3s, get the P3s. I tested the P312. That thing sounded good and it beat. So, Andrew Smith, Team Savard. I mean, hey, you guys know it, man. I love Savard. I love what they're doing now. They're putting out very competitive products at a good competitive price, and you cannot overlook them. FU Audio 750 V2, really good. I have not checked out any FU Audio stuff yet, but I'm not opposed to it. Kicker fanboy for life. Me too, bro. Me too. Dire Audio is a hybrid of. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the Dire Brahma, because this was an old school brand, but that they brought it back. Those subs are dope. If that's what you're talking about, I really like those subs. I haven't played with the new ones, but I have played with the old ones, and they're pretty legit. Everybody's sleeping on the LCS 12 from sundown. I have four. Hey man, You seen my review on the LCS 12. That's a surprising sub right there. That's a very good sub for the money. Yes, the Solo X MSRP. So they haven't officially said, but they said that they were roughly half of what the old Solos cost. So this is just me saying, I don't actually know this, but I'm thinking around 450 for the 10, around 550 for the 12, and then I think it's like 750 for the 15. That's the price range I'm thinking. So we'll know soon enough. The True Voice recently asked, what system from my early days do I still wish I had? I'm trying to think. So this isn't even in the early days. This is just the early days of my YouTube. The PhD component set, the JBL 5-channel amp, and the two Blues Audio 10s. That freaking system sounded incredible, man. It was probably one of the best sounding systems that I've had in a while. Overall balanced system, and I wasn't heavy into EQing it. I did have it EQ'd. I had it time aligned, but it was just through the head unit through the 80, and it sounded pretty good. And I wish that I still had that set up because it was simple and it sounded good. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I missed. We got a ton of comments I missed. Get silver solder with flux in it. No, I have not given the Audio Control D6 1200 a listen, but I definitely want to. That's now my when you guys ask me my dream answer, my dream systems, it's not like unobtainable stuff. It's stuff that I just want to use that I have not used before. I've used the lower end, the entry level, the small micro amps, the ACMs, I think they are, and those sounded pretty good and they perform. So Anthony said he sold a lot of them. And if you guys don't know who Anthony's Car Audio Life is, check out his YouTube channel. He's doing a lot of cool stuff on there. Oh, and I totally forgot to mention our dude, the Third Era, is doing a giveaway of the G2 Dynamics 10-inch sub that he got the Genesis. You guys, I will after this stream's over. A matter of fact, I'll look it up right now. I'll drop it in the chat. You guys watch his video when this is over. Enter for that sub. You're gonna want to win it. Give him a subscription. Hit the bell, do all that stuff. Because Third Era, he's underappreciated in the car audio scene. You guys should really check out his stuff. And Randall P asked if I get into any home audio. Not yet, man. I really need to. It's just I can't even catch up on my car audio stuff, but I need to do something on home audio because it's absolutely embarrassing what I got going on. Let's see. Recommended power balancing mids and highs and subs for an all around great sounding system. I'm thinking 50-50. Me, um, 50-50 is a good mix, but I've had systems that were like 60 to 70% of my power is going to the front stage and the rest of the power is going to the sub stage. And I like it that way. But then again, every now and again, you want to just, like my buddy JDR says, you want to pour the gravy on a little bit and get them subs beating. So I think a 50-50 mix would be perfect. Let's see what else we got. When are the DN Moore engineering amps coming? I don't know, man. I didn't learn about them until maybe a month ago. So they look cool though. They put out the power. Steve says they sound good, so I assume that they sound pretty damn good. I appreciate you stopping by, Daniel. You can get a SAV212 D4 or D2 for $171 on the Sunyard the sundown yard sale. So, pro tip of the day: if you guys want to SA, check it out. And that's something on the not the super SPL sundown subs, but from the SA line down to the SD3. I haven't played with the SD4 yet. The LCS, the what I test, the E series, they all sound good. None of those subs sound bad. It's just a matter of how much power they can take. But as far as sound, I think they all sound good, and they're very underrated for sound quality because they're good sounding subs. Tiffany Smith says Parts Express for mids. Can't argue with that. You get a lot of good deals with Parts Express on mids. And he says for your first new kicker test, I literally tried the kicker comp. Super underrated driver. And the kicker comp has been underrated since the day it came out. Any kicker comp I've used has been pretty good. Sorry guys, talking so much I gotta get a drink. Let's see. Yeah, I am tired, man. I've been out shopping all day today. I was like, oh damn, I got to do the 12 days of streaming. It just completely slipped my mind earlier in the day. But we finished up our Christmas shopping. Everyone's done. Uh, so yeah, we're finally done with that, and now I can kind of have a respite. Although I did sleep good last night for once this week. Michael Young asked Focal or Morel. I hate to be with Dean on this, but I am a Morel over Focal only because this I like the Morel tweeters than the Focal tweeters. The Focal tweeters are a little harsh and they're harder to tame than the Morel tweeters. That's it. As far as the mids go, they use bigger voice coil on the Morel mids, so they typically handle a little bit more power. The Focals maybe seem to be a little bit more sensitive. I like the polyglass. Dean hates the polyglass, but I like the polyglass. I just like the Morel tweeters better. Tiffany says Morel all day. What do I think of Sundown Unofficial? I like their show, man. That that or sorry, I'm thinking of the podcast. I like the podcast too. I think they're just having fun. And I think Derek Haddock on the Sundown Unofficial channel does a really good job, kind of showing these amps off and these subs off and stuff. It's a fun channel to watch, especially if you're into like really like bass head stuff, because he's doing the big amps a lot of times and he's showing you all their new products. And yeah, I mean, I like the channel. Kobe said he's had 3 Scar amps, no problems in a year. I mean, hey, can't beat that. He says if you do Scar amps, I recommend the SK line. Let's see here. Installed some JL components. Cool. Anthony says 15-inch or 18-inch. I don't know, man. I like to the size of the 18 when you show someone. They really, they kind of get shocked by that, especially people not in car audio. So I lean 18-inch because I'm kind of a single sub guy. I like to use one sub. So I would go 18 over 15, but there's nothing wrong with either one of them. And 2001 says nothing wrong with Focal or Morel except the price. Got him. He asked, where can I get Eclipse head unit RCAs? It's just regular RCAs, right? Unless it's some kind of I guess unless it's some kind of no, they just got regular RCAs, don't they? I don't think they have any digital out or anything like that. 25 hertz? Nah, I'm not going to enter any. I don't want to win any of the 5-star stuff because I want you guys to win it. So every giveaway, the kicker giveaway, the 5-star giveaway, all that stuff, I'm hoping that one of you guys wins it. One of you guys that's always in the comments watching and stuff like that. That's who, like, every time we have something, I hope to see one of your names in there. And I'm happy when you guys do win it. Let's see. Let me get a couple more comments and I'm going to sign out. Oh man, you guys are killing it in the comments here. Andy says sounds right on the price ranges. The original Solo X sold for $1,200 roughly. So yeah, we'll see. Bobby says no kicker under the Christmas tree for me this year. You got all of it, man. You already got all of it. Andrew asks, what are my thoughts on lithium batteries? So lithium batteries, super, super cool technology. I think we're still in the early portion of it for car audio, and we're kind of figuring it out. But there is much to be said, amp hour for amp hour, lithium versus an AGM battery, or a flooded battery. Um, there is a point that I think people don't get is even with a high C rate, a high discharge rate, sometimes a high discharge and a high charge rate. So I've said this in another stream, but lithium could kind of fool you sometimes into, which in a good way can fool you into being a much bigger battery. A 10 amp hour lithium may at a lot of times outperform a 100 amp hour AGM or flooded battery. And it does this by charging fast, discharging fast at a bigger rate. But there are points, especially like when I'm testing, that I need the amp hours. So if I were to do lithium, I'd need a decent amount of amp hours. I'd want like 100 amp hours. And in cars, if you're doing that, maybe don't buy the smallest amp hour. Try to get yourself some amp hours because the lithium's going to do well. But if you have just a single 10 amp hour battery, even if it's a Toshiba skib cell with a very high discharge rate, it's still it could fail you in ways that you're not expecting. Let me see here. Man, you guys are killing it in the comments. I can't even keep up. Yeah, why the guy says, yeah, I don't bother with the giveaways. I don't want to win anything. Now I like winning stuff, but I get, I'm lucky enough to have kickers send me stuff. There's Cadence sends me stuff. So, I can get things like that. So I definitely want you guys to win all this stuff because you guys deserve it. I mean, like I said, this is not just YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. You guys are viewers. Like this is a community, and I hope you guys definitely feel like that. I feel like I'm just part of the community, and maybe I'm the guy that kind of brings us together to talk all the time. But it's a community, and everyone is on an equal playing field in my eyes. Tiffany, AGM with super caps is what I use. I've got an AGM in the Trooper with some super caps, so you'll probably dig that. I try to go to all the 12-volt channels and hit like and share, except for Soundman because all he does is make fun of the other channels. Still want nothing. I like Soundman though. I like Soundman. Yeah, see, Andy says the JY HP40s are equivalent to 3 100 amp hour AGMs, about the same price and half the space and half the weight, or less than half the weight. A lot more than less half the weight. You guys hear that? That's the ice maker in the fridge. 25 to life. This is my very last question because we're almost at an hour. So I'm going to answer this and I'm going to sign off and I will see you guys tomorrow. You can check me out streaming with Adam and Phil from Karma Car Audio. But my favorite speaker wire size is 14 gauge. You probably didn't expect that because I not only can I use 14 gauge for all my door speakers and even the tweeters, it's easier to run. You get a little more headroom with those. or a little more. You can put a little more power to them, but you can also run 14 gauge to most subs unless you're doing something a little crazy. So, excuse me. If you want to use a pretty big sub setup, 8 gauge, 10 gauge, or 12 gauge, you're definitely going to want it 12 gauge at the minimum. But if you're running 500 watts, 14 gauge is going to do you good. That's my favorite size because I can use it in a lot of different things. I can use it on speakers, I can use it on subs. Appreciate the $5 holla, Rob. From one Rob to another, you're a cool dude. Doing a great job. Keep it up. Appreciate it. Yeah. And as Bobby says, OFC, not CCA. All right. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Check out the stream, 7 o'clock if you want to. I think it'll be fun. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your Saturday night to join me just talking about random nonsense that I liked from the year 2020. I left links in the description of this. So if you guys want to check out any of these products, feel free to. If not, that's cool as well. I hope to see you guys back tomorrow. And you guys, please, even if I don't see you, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Spend some time with your family. You know, do all that type of stuff. I'm getting tired already. All right, catch you guys later.